Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who had everything: a successful career, respect from his peers, the admiration of many. But in the quiet of his own soul, none of it mattered as much as one thing: the woman he loved. See, love ain't just about flowers, date nights, and sweet nothings whispered under candlelight. No, real love is deeper than that. It's in the words a man speaks, the promises he keeps, and the truth he stands on. A man who truly loves you doesn't just say it, he proves it. And when a man loves you with his whole heart, you'll hear these 7 powerful things. A man who truly loves you doesn't leave you wondering if he's by your side. He doesn't let life's storms shake your confidence in him. When you're tired, when you're scared, when the weight of the world feels too heavy, he looks you in the eye and says, I've got you. And when he says it, he means it. Not just in the easy moments, not just when things are smooth, but when life tests you, when your back is against the wall, when you feel like giving up. A man's love is not just measured in gifts, in dates, or in words whispered on a good day. No, love is proven when life gets real. When the bills pile up, when your dreams feel too far away, when the people you trusted disappoint you. In those moments, a man who truly loves you doesn't disappear. He doesn't check out. He steps forward and reminds you you're not alone. We're in this together. See, some people will love you as long as it's easy, as long as it's convenient. But real love, it's not about convenience. It's about commitment. A real man won't let a bad mood or a rough season change the way he treats you. He won't run when you're struggling. He won't make you feel like a burden for needing him. Instead, he will show up every single time. A man who truly loves you understands that life is a battle, and he's not just there to celebrate your victories. He's there to fight beside you. When your spirit feels heavy, he carries the load with you. When you lose faith in yourself, he reminds you who you are. And when the world gets loud, when people doubt you, when life tells you that you're not enough, he looks you in the eye and says, I see you. I believe in you, and I will never let you go. It's easy for a man to love you when you're smiling, when life is smooth, when everything feels good. But the true test of his love is how he stands when things fall apart. Does he turn away when you need him most? Or does he hold your hand and face the storm with you? Because love, real love, isn't proven in words alone. It's proven in presence, in action, in unwavering loyalty. And let me tell you something, love should never leave you anxious, never leave you wondering. A man who truly loves you will make sure you know you are loved. You won't have to chase after him, won't have to question his intentions. Because a real man doesn't keep you guessing. He makes sure you feel safe, he makes sure you feel cherished, and he makes sure that even in your darkest moments, you know you're not alone. Think about the way he treats you when things aren't perfect. That's where the truth is. Does he listen when you're hurting? Does he hold you when the world feels too much? Does he remind you that you're worthy, that you matter, that your dreams and your struggles are his too? Because when a man truly loves you, your problems are not just yours, they become his too. Love isn't just about standing beside you when you're strong, it's about holding you up when you feel weak. A real man won't let you carry the weight of life alone. He won't sit back and watch you struggle. He will step in, he will stand tall, and he will remind you time and time again that his love is not conditional, it is constant. So if a man truly loves you, you will know it by his words, yes, but more importantly, by his actions. He won't just tell you, I've got you. He will prove it in 100 different ways every single day. And when you find that, when you find a man whose love feels like safety, like strength, like home, hold on to it. Because that, my friend, is real love. A man in love isn't just fond of you. He's inspired by you. He doesn't just admire you from a distance. He sees you for who you truly are. Your strength, your kindness, your ambition, your struggles, your victories. And it moves him. It ignites something deep within him. A man who truly loves you doesn't just appreciate you, he aspires to be better because of you. See, any man can be attracted to your beauty, to the way you smile, to the way you carry yourself. But a man who truly loves you, he loves something deeper. He loves your mind. He loves your spirit. He loves the way you think, the way you dream, the way you refuse to give up even when life tries to break you. Your presence alone makes him want to rise higher, work harder, and become the man he was always meant to be. When a man says, you inspire me, he's not just giving you a compliment. He's revealing something sacred. He's telling you that your existence makes his life richer, that your wisdom shapes his thinking, that your love gives him the strength to face the world with a different kind of confidence. A man who is inspired by you sees a future with you, a future where you both grow together, sharpening each other, pushing each other to become more than you ever imagined. A man like that doesn't see you as competition. He sees you as a partner. He's not intimidated by your ambition, your goals, or your ability to stand strong on your own. No, he celebrates it. He wants to see you shine, to see you walk boldly in your purpose. Because when he sees you thriving, it fuels his own fire. A man who loves you doesn't try to contain you, he empowers you. Some men want a woman they can control, someone who makes them feel superior. But a real man, a man who truly loves you, he wants a woman who challenges him, who calls him to elevate, who makes him rethink the way he moves through life. He values a woman with vision, with depth, with something greater driving her than just appearances. Because he knows that beauty fades, but a powerful mind that lasts forever. When a man is inspired by you, you won't have to beg him to grow. You won't have to pull him up or force him to step into his purpose. No, he will want to grow, want to do better, want to rise, because he sees the standard you hold yourself to. He will recognize that being with you is a privilege, not a convenience. And he will do everything in his power to become a man worthy of standing beside you. A real man understands that love isn't about comfort, it's about evolution. And when he truly loves you, he won't resist that growth. He will embrace it. He will look at you and say, I want to be better, not just for myself, but for us. That is the kind of love that transforms lives. That is the kind of love that builds legacies. So when a man tells you, you inspire me, pay attention to what that really means. It means he admires you, he respects you. He doesn't just want any woman, he wants you. Because in you, he sees something rare, something valuable, something he knows he could never replace. And when a man recognizes your worth at that level, that's not just love, that's destiny. A love like that isn't ordinary. It isn't shallow. It isn't temporary. A love like that is real. And when you find it, you'll know. Because you won't just be loved, you will be cherished. You will be seen. You will be the reason a man becomes great. And that, my friend, is the power of a woman who inspires the man who loves her. Listen to me. Pride is the enemy of love. It has destroyed more relationships than distance ever could. It has broken bonds that were meant to last a lifetime. But a real man, a man who truly loves you, he doesn't let pride stand between you and him. He doesn't let his ego become bigger than the love he has for you. That's why when he's wrong, he looks you in the eye, takes responsibility, and says, I'm sorry. See, some men think saying sorry makes them weak. They think admitting fault means losing power. But a real man knows the opposite is true. Apologizing takes strength, takes humility. It takes a heart that values love over the need to be right. A man who truly loves you understands that love is not about winning arguments. It's about winning together. When a man refuses to say sorry, when he would rather defend his mistakes than heal the wounds he caused, that's not love, that's pride. And let me tell you something, pride will leave a man standing alone. A man who loves you doesn't hold on to his ego while watching you suffer. No, he puts his pride aside, comes to you, and says, I was wrong, and I never want to hurt you. A real man values peace over pride. He doesn't let a small disagreement turn into a war. He doesn't allow his stubbornness to build a wall between you. Instead, he chooses love. He chooses healing. He chooses you. And when he says, I'm sorry, he doesn't just say it to end an argument. He says it because he means it. Because he wants to make things right. A sincere apology is not just words, it's action. A man who truly loves you won't just say sorry and repeat the same mistake. No, he will change. He will listen, he will learn, and he will do better, because hurting you is not an option for him. He doesn't want temporary peace, he wants growth. He wants to love you better. Love is not about keeping score. It's not about who is right or wrong. It's about understanding each other. It's about choosing each other even when things get tough. A man who truly loves you knows that no argument is more important than your relationship. He would rather let go of his pride than risk losing you. And let's be real, apologizing is not always easy. Sometimes it stings. Sometimes it requires deep self-reflection. But a man who loves you is willing to do the work. He doesn't run from hard conversations. He doesn't dismiss your feelings. He listens, he acknowledges, and he corrects his behavior. Because that's what love does. It builds, it repairs, it heals. A man who refuses to apologize is a man who refuses to grow. And a love that doesn't grow will eventually die. But a man who truly loves you, he will fight for the relationship, not against it. He will value your heart more than his ego. He will make sure you feel heard, feel respected, feel loved. Because for him, keeping you is far more important than keeping his pride. So when a man says, I'm sorry, And he says it with humility, with sincerity, with change behind his words. That's a man who truly loves you. That's a man who sees your relationship as something worth fighting for. And that, my friend, is the kind of love that lasts a lifetime. There's power in belief, power in knowing that someone sees you, not just for who you are today, but for who you are becoming. When a man truly loves you, he speaks life into your dreams. He doesn't tell you why it won't work. He tells you why it will. He doesn't let fear, doubt, or obstacles define your future. No, he reminds you that you are capable, that you are strong enough, that what's inside of you is greater than any challenge ahead. A man like that, he's not just a spectator in your life, he's an investor. He doesn't just watch from the sideline. He stands beside you, behind you, and sometimes even in front of you, clearing the path so you can walk into your destiny with confidence. When he says, I believe in you, it's not empty words. It's a promise. A promise that he's not going anywhere. That he sees something in you even when you struggle to see it in yourself. The world will doubt you, that's a given. You'll have people who tell you your dreams are too big, your goals are too impossible, that you should settle for realistic instead of greatness. But when a man loves you, he becomes the voice that drowns out the doubt. He becomes the one who looks you in the eye and says, forget what they said, keep going. Because he knows your potential, and he refuses to let you shrink yourself to fit into someone else's small vision. A man who truly believes in you will never make you feel small. He will never mock your ambitions or laugh at your ideas. Instead, he will challenge you, push you, and remind you of what you're capable of. And when you feel like giving up, when you feel like the road is too hard, he won't let you quit. He will remind you why you started in the first place. See, love isn't just about romance. It's about partnership. It's about building something real together. A man who truly loves you understands that your success is his success. Your dreams are his dreams. He doesn't compete with you, he champions you, because when you rise, both of you rise. And belief, it's the foundation of every great love story. A man can say he loves you, but does he believe in you? Does he push you to chase your dreams? Does he encourage you when self-doubt creeps in? Does he remind you of your strength when the world tries to tear you down? Because if a man believes in you, he won't just love your past or your present, he will love your future too. Think about it, every successful person had someone who believed in them. Someone who stood by them when no one else did. Someone who said, I see something in you and I'm not letting you give up. A real man values peace over pride. He doesn't let a small disagreement turn into a war. He doesn't allow his stubbornness to build a wall between you. Instead, he chooses love. He chooses healing. He chooses you. And when he says, I'm sorry, he doesn't just say it to end an argument. He says it because he means it, because he wants to make things right. A sincere apology is not just words, it's action. A man who truly loves you won't just say sorry and repeat the same mistake. No, he will change. He will listen, he will learn, and he will do better because hurting you is not an option for him. He doesn't want temporary peace. He wants growth. He wants to love you better. Love is not about keeping score. It's not about who was right or wrong. It's about understanding each other. It's about choosing each other, even when things get tough. A man who truly loves you knows that no argument is more important than your relationship. He would rather let go of his pride than risk losing you. And let's be real, apologizing is not always easy. Sometimes it stings. Sometimes it requires deep self-reflection. But a man who loves you is willing to do the work. He doesn't run from hard conversations. He doesn't dismiss your feelings. He listens, he acknowledges, and he corrects his behavior because that's what love does. It builds, it repairs, it heals. A man who refuses to apologize is a man who refuses to grow. And a love that doesn't grow will eventually die. But a man who truly loves you, he will fight for the relationship, not against it. He will value your heart more than his ego. He will make sure you feel heard, feel respected, feel loved, because for him, keeping you is far more important than keeping his pride. So when a man says, I'm sorry, and he says it with humility, with sincerity, with change behind his words, that's a man who truly loves you. That's a man who sees your relationship as something worth fighting for. And that, my friend, is the kind of love that lasts a lifetime. There's power in belief, power in knowing that someone sees you, Not just for who you are today, but for who you are becoming. When a man truly loves you, he speaks life into your dreams. He doesn't tell you why it won't work, he tells you why it will. He doesn't let fear, doubt, or obstacles define your future. No, he reminds you that you are capable, that you are strong enough, that what's inside of you is greater than any challenge ahead. A man like that, he's not just a spectator in your life, he's an investor. He doesn't just watch from the sidelines. He stands beside you, behind you, and sometimes even in front of you, clearing the path so you can walk into your destiny with confidence. When he says, I believe in you, it's not empty words. It's a promise. A promise that he's not going anywhere. That he sees something in you even when you struggle to see it in yourself. The world will doubt you, that's a given. You will have people who tell you your dreams are too big, your goals are too impossible, that you should settle for realistic instead of greatness. But when a man loves you, he becomes the voice that drowns out the doubt. He becomes the one who looks you in the eye and says, forget what they said, keep going. Because he knows your potential and he refuses to let you shrink yourself to fit into someone else's small vision. A man who truly believes in you will never make you feel small. He will never mock your ambitions or laugh at your ideas. Instead, he will challenge you, push you, and remind you of what you're capable of. And when you feel like giving up, when you feel like the road is too hard, he won't let you quit. He will remind you why you started in the first place. See, love isn't just about romance, it's about partnership. It's about building something real together. A man who truly loves you understands that your success is his success. Your dreams are his dreams. He doesn't compete with you, he champions you. Because when you rise, both of you rise. And belief, it's the foundation of every great love story. A man can say he loves you, but does he believe in you? Does he push you to chase your dreams? Does he encourage you when self-doubt creeps in? Does he remind you of your strength when the world tries to tear you down? Because if a man believes in you, he won't just love your past or your present. He will love your future too. Think about it. Every successful person had someone who believed in him. Someone who stood by them when no one else did. Someone who said, I see something in you and I'm not letting you give up. If a man loves you the way he should, he will be that person for you. He will be your rock, your supporter, your greatest source of strength when times get tough. A real man doesn't just love the version of you that exists today. He loves the woman you are becoming. He sees your growth, your potential, your future, and he wants to be there for all of it. Not just for the easy days, not just for the celebrations, but for the late nights when you're exhausted, the moments of fear, the times when you wonder if you're really good enough. That's when his words matter most. That's when his belief in you makes all the difference. So when a man tells you, I believe in you, don't take those words lightly. They mean he's not just in love with you, he's invested in you. They mean he's not just watching your journey, he's walking it with you. A man like that, that's not just someone you date, that's someone you build a life with. Listen, love is not just a feeling, love is a choice. Every single day. Feelings come and go, passion can fade. But a man who truly loves you doesn't just feel love for you, he chooses you through the ups, the downs, the sunshine, and the storms. He reminds you, I choose you. Because love is not about convenience, it's about commitment. A real man doesn't just choose you when everything is perfect. He doesn't only love you on the good days when you're smiling, when life is easy. No, real love is tested in the difficult moments. When life gets stressful, when the pressure is on, when things aren't going smoothly, that's when you see the truth. A man who truly loves you doesn't walk away when things get hard. He stays. He fights for you. He chooses you again and again. The world is full of people who love only when it's easy, when it feels good. But when challenges come, when relationships require work, they start looking for an exit. But a man who truly loves you, he sees the difficult moments as part of the journey. He understands that love is about building something, about growing together, about facing life as a team. When he says, I choose you, he's saying, I'm not going anywhere. That's the kind of love you deserve. A love that stays. A love that doesn't flinch when times get tough. A love that doesn't run at the first sign of trouble. A love that is steady, unshaken, unbreakable. Because choosing someone isn't about the moment. It's about the long haul. It's about waking up every day and making the decision to love, to support, to stand beside each other no matter what comes. Think about it. Life will test you. There will be days when you feel exhausted, when your dreams feel distant, when life feels overwhelming. And in those moments, a man who truly loves you will not make you question where you stand. He won't make you wonder if he's still committed, still invested. He will look at you with steady eyes and remind you, I'm here. I choose you. A real man doesn't keep his options open. He doesn't have one foot in and one foot out. He doesn't treat you like something temporary. No, he is all in. His love is not conditional. His love is not situational. It is foundational. It is a choice that he makes over and over again. Because for him, loving you is not an obligation, it's an honor. And let me tell you this, when a man truly chooses you, you will know it. You won't have to chase him. You won't have to convince him. You won't have to wonder where you stand, because a man who is fully committed doesn't leave room for doubt. His actions will prove, his words will reinforce it. His presence will be consistent, because choosing you means showing up every single day. Love is not about perfection, it's about perseverance. It's about standing together hand in hand and saying, no matter what happens, I'm with you. It's about loyalty, about building something that lasts. And when you find a man who understands that, when you find a man who chooses you through every season, every struggle, every joy, that's a love that cannot be shaken. So don't settle for a love that only shows up when it's convenient. Don't accept half-hearted effort, empty promises, or inconsistent affection. Wait for the man who chooses you in the hard moments. Wait for the man who proves his love through action, through commitment, through showing up. Because that is real love. That is the kind of love that stands the test of time. Trust is the foundation of every relationship. Without it, everything else is built on sand, but a real man's word, it's solid ground. When he says, you can trust me, he doesn't just speak those words as a promise. He makes them real. His actions follow his words. His character backs up his commitment. A man who truly loves you will prove his loyalty over time, not just through fleeting promises, but through consistent actions that align with his words. Trust isn't something you build with grand gestures or flowery speeches. It's built over time with little things, small everyday moments that reveal the truth of a man's character. A man who says, you can trust me, doesn't just want to be trusted. He shows you that he's worthy of that trust. He earns it. Day in and day out, through honesty, integrity, and dependability. He doesn't leave you wondering, is he telling me the truth, or can I count on him? Because his actions tell you everything you need to know. A real man understands that words are powerful, but actions speak louder than any promise he could make. He understands that trust isn't just given, it's earned. He shows up when he says he will. He follows through on the commitments he makes, no matter how small they may seem. And when life gets tough, when things don't go as planned, he doesn't run from the situation or shy away from responsibility. No, he stands firm. He faces the challenge and he does what he said he would do. That's how you know you can trust him. Trust isn't fragile when it's built on consistency. When a man proves himself over time, when he shows up for you even when it's not easy, trust becomes a rock-solid foundation that you can rely on. A man who truly loves you doesn't give you reason to question his loyalty. His love isn't fleeting or dependent on circumstances. It's secure. You can rest easy knowing that no matter what happens, he'll be there. He'll do what he said he would. He won't disappear when things get hard or when life gets complicated. Consistency is key. And a man who truly loves you understands that it's not just about being there when everything is perfect. It's about being there when it's not. When life throws curveballs, when there are misunderstandings, when the world seems to be falling apart, a man who loves you will stay grounded. He will continue to show up for you, proving through his actions that his love is unwavering, that you can always count on him. And let me tell you this, trust isn't just about loyalty in the good times. It's about how someone handles you in the difficult moments. A man who says you can trust me will be the one who reassures you during your hardest days. When you're unsure of yourself, when you're feeling vulnerable, his presence will be the anchor that keeps you grounded. He won't leave you questioning where you stand, because he will make sure you know through his words and his actions that you're a priority. A man's word is his bond. And when you've built that trust, you don't have to doubt the future. You know that when he promises something, he will deliver. When he says, I'm here for you, you don't have to wonder if it's just a passing sentiment. You can trust that he will be there through thick and thin. His consistency will show you that he is a man of his word, that you can count on him to follow through no matter what life throws your way. Trust is also about transparency. A man who truly loves you will never leave you in the dark, never make you guess what he's thinking or feeling. He will communicate openly and honestly because he knows that trust is a two-way street. He's not hiding things from you or keeping secrets. Instead, he's building a bridge of honesty and openness that allows you both to connect deeply, to be vulnerable without fear of betrayal. In a relationship built on trust, you won't have to wonder where you stand. A man who truly loves you will be consistent. He will show up for you. He will be reliable. When he says, "You can trust me," it's not just a line. It's a declaration of his commitment to you and your relationship. And you'll know that every word, every promise, every gesture comes from a place of deep, unwavering sincerity. So remember this, trust is not given lightly, it's earned. And a man who truly loves you will show you with his actions and his heart that he's someone you can trust. That's the kind of love that lasts. A love that stands strong, steady, and unshakable. When a man truly loves you, those three words are not just something he throws around casually. He doesn't say them as a reflex because they're expected. No, when he says, "I love you," he's not just offering up empty words. He's making a declaration. He's putting his heart on the line. Those words carry weight because they come from a place of true commitment, respect, and understanding. He's saying, "I am here, I am yours. I see you, I respect you, and I will honor you." These aren't just phrases, they are promises. And when he says them, you can feel it. A man who truly loves you doesn't wait for the perfect moment to say those words. He doesn't just say them when things are easy or when he wants to hear them in return. No, he says them when it matters. He says them when you're vulnerable, when you've had a bad day, when everything seems to be falling apart. Because love is not just about the good times. It's about being there when the road gets tough, when the world feels heavy, and when you need him the most. His love is steady, unwavering, and always present. Think about it. How many times do we hear "I love you" without feeling it? It becomes routine. It can feel like a hollow expression. But when a man truly loves you, he makes those words mean something deeper. It's not just something he says out of habit. It's something he says with intention. He speaks it with the conviction that no matter what happens, his love for you remains constant. It's a promise that doesn't fade with time or circumstances. It stands firm, anchored in his heart. And let me tell you, a man who says, "I love you," in the hardest moments shows you the power of his love. It's easy to say when everything's going right, when life is smooth. But it's in the challenges, the struggles, the moments of doubt, that those words mean the most. When he says, "I love you," in the face of adversity, he's telling you that no matter what storm comes your way, he's not backing down. He's staying. He's choosing you. And he's telling you that you're worth fighting for. Love, true love, isn't something that can be measured by the frequency of "I love you" alone. It's measured by the actions that back up those words. It's shown in the way a man is there for you, not just in the sunshine, but in the rain. A man who truly loves you will show you his love every single day. His words of affirmation are reinforced by his actions, by his dedication, by his willingness to be by your side no matter what. He doesn't just say the words, he makes them real through how he lives his life with you. You know a man loves you when he doesn't hesitate to show his affection, when he's not afraid to be vulnerable with you. A real man doesn't hide his emotions or keep you at arm's length. When he says, "I love you," he means it with every fiber of his being. Those words come from a deep place of respect and admiration for the person you are. It's not just a declaration, it's an acknowledgement of your worth, of everything that you bring to his life. The power of love is not in the words themselves, but in the way they change you. When a man truly loves you, his love lifts you. It makes you feel seen, it makes you feel valued. His love inspires you to be your best self, to walk confidently in the world knowing that you are loved, that you are cherished. When a man says, "I love you," it is a promise that you'll never have to question your worth. His love makes you whole. But it's not just the words that matter, it's the way he lives them. A man who says, "I love you," shows it every single day. He doesn't just make grand gestures on special occasions. He loves you through the small things. The way he listens when you talk, the way he checks in when you're feeling down, the way he sacrifices his own comfort to make you happy. Every action he takes, every choice he makes speaks louder than any phrase he could say. His love is in everything he does for you. You see, love is a verb, not just a noun. It's something that has to be acted upon, something that needs to be nurtured and protected. A man who truly loves you is invested in making you feel loved every day. He works to build a foundation of trust, respect, and care. When he says, "I love you," he's not just telling you his feelings in that moment. He's telling you that his love will remain constant in the days to come. He's promising to continue choosing you, to keep investing in you, to never give up on your relationship. So when a man truly says, I love you, and you feel it in the core of your being, know this: those words carry weight. They are not just words. They are a commitment to stand by you, to love you through the hardest times, to honor and respect you always. And when you hear those words, you know that love is not just something he says. It's something he lives. That's the kind of love that endures. That's the kind of love you deserve.